I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it. I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
Well, we're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening. So wake up with Michele Meiche. Be pleased to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening. Understand what living awake is.
Hello, Soul Lights. How's everyone doing? If you're new to this podcast, hi, I'm Michele. It's great to have you here. I'm just getting my tea here. And or I'm going to do a decaf cappuccino, maybe with a mixture of coconut milk and almond milk. Wow, lots of shifting happening, lots to talk about. Looks like we have a great guest coming on, Dr. Sharon Martin. Had a dream question come in, which I love. I will be doing a dream interpretation class again, I think actually within the next couple months, mixing in mysticism, modern mysticism, because really when you mix the dream work with mystic energy and focus, it's powerful. Hi, everyone in the chat. Great to see everyone. Hello, hello. Big hello in caps. No, I'm not shouting. I'm just glad to see you all. All right, gang. So call-in number is 347-539-5122. If you have a question, a comment, you want a reading, you want to say hi, you need to press 1 on the keypad. Okay, so 347-539-5122. If you're in the chat and I can see it, I'll answer questions. It's best to, I don't know, type in caps or put a emoji or something so that I can see it, because sometimes I miss. There's a lot of conversation going on in the chat, and sometimes I miss it. Let's see. I don't know if she's listening. Give a shout out for Siggy, who's been so supportive of my Soul Insights and Tarot channel. Want to give a shout out also to all the Patreons, the patrons of Patreon. We are having a great time over there. If you want more support, more connection, more clearing work, energy work, meditation, emotional repatterning, advanced metaphysics, advanced esoteric principles, spirituality, the occult, we are doing it over there. And we do deep dives. There's different tiers if you want to connect monthly with me, where I answer questions, I talk, I do readings, we talk about information from the guides. It's really like, in a way, a self-study program. If that's something that interests you, you can, I think it's in this description box of the episode, there's a link there. You can also go to my link tree or flow code, I guess it is, on Insta. Or you can always just put my name in on Patreon. I think it's Michele Meiche and Soul Awakening with moi. I try to put my name in so that people remember that, it's easier to find. It's easier to do a search. So, yeah, okay, 347-539-5122 is the number. Press 1 on your keypad if you have a question or a comment. If you're just listening, that's great, too. Thank you also for, some of you have recently subscribed to my podcast, kind of archives. We're going to be doing live starting this month, actually, on YouTube, and that's Awakenings with Michele Meiche podcast. So you can just put in my name, it's so funny. I've had this podcast since, I think, 2007, 9, maybe 7, 9. And somebody took Awakenings with their name on YouTube. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I still kept it because it's built up. And also, I would love it if you would subscribe to this podcast and also Soul Insights and Tarot. I'm trying to get everyone together because some things that I have planned in the future are going to be very group orientated and not all charged. I keep things at a minimum fee for everything that I do, and then of course I do gratis things, freebie things like this. So yeah, I think I need to get my decaf going here. Let's see. I see people in the chat. Hello in the chat. Okay, 347-539-5122. Press 1 on your keypad. Just going to touch upon the energy pattern that's happening right now. Get to James's dream, who called in, and then we'll get to callers. So stay put, or if you are walking away or walking around, make sure that you unmute yourself. Well, I'll unmute you, but make sure that you're in a shout-outs distance from the, from your phone. Okay, gang, so very interesting. We've got a very interesting energy pattern that's coming up. And it's almost like, whoa, wait a minute. It's a little bit of and I know we have some retrogrades. Pluto is one, Saturn just coming out of a Mercury retrograde, and Venus is going to be retrograde in July. I believe July. Don't quote me on that, but I think July. Maybe June. I don't know. I know in July the nodes switch in the North Node into Aries, South Node into Libra. But here's the deal, gang. Want to let you know this because I did a deep dive this morning. I hardly got any sleep. I had so much energy. I feel like I'm giving birth. Those of you that have been, when you're pregnant, there's a nesting time where you're preparing. You get up, you're pacing, you're walking around, and I don't even believe how much I'm getting done with so little sleep. But I've been cleaning out stuff. I even found something, a very valuable piece of jewelry that I thought I had lost, and something told me, look here, do this. So I'm clearing out stuff, getting rid of stuff, giving stuff to not the Goodwill, I don't know, but like a thrift store kind of place, resale place, and just making space, making room, just redid some stuff in my house. It's just time to kind of do a little up-leveling and a facelift. So see how that applies for you. Now, what I've been getting from the guides, it's like, yes, there are new directions coming in. Yes, some of the things that you want to manifest, changes in job, career, relationship, moves, all of that's happening, but different than you envisioned, different what you thought. So the message I was getting for so many, and including myself to some degree, is right now it's about altering approaches. And with these retrogrades, and especially Venus going in retrograde, which I believe will be, for sure will be in Leo, the sun, your solar aspect of you. Sun is an essence. It's not the total. In fact, I like when I'm doing astrology, I really look a lot at the moon. I feel like in some ways the moon has more, they all blend together, all the aspects, all the planets, all the signs, the quality, signs are the qualities of energy, how that planetary energy is manifesting. But when you look at the moon, you really see the interior world, your interior realm. You see your emotions, your energy in motion, what really fulfills you, makes you tick. And it also has a lot of past life connections, the moon does. It's very unconscious, subconscious. Of course, it's the mother, so it's the seeding, right? It's the gestation period where the solar or the sun, the father, is the birth. It's manifested form. It's what you come with. And then, of course, our rising sign has to do with not only how people see us, but how we see others, and most importantly, how we see the world. It's our navigating, it's our lens, if you will. What kind of lens do you operate through, or do you look at the world through? What kind of navigational system do you use? And you can tell a lot by somebody's moon, the aspects to it, and of course the rising sign. And all aspects are important. It's not just those. But I really think when you hone in on those, you get a lot of information. And solar astrology, looking at the sun, is very new. It was mostly based on the moon. We had a lot with moon cycles. So if you look at the moon, because we're not so static, we really are those fluctuations of our emotions, and that taps us into our, intuition and our true self-expression or soul expression, and the way to creatively express that in the world. If you guys hear me moving around, I need to do more decaf. I'm doing a nice, deep, roasted decaf with using my frother, coconut milk, and almond milk. So, alter your approach. Right now, look at what you're doing right now, and ask yourself, how can I alter this to make it more interesting, more fulfilling? How can I bring in more of my creativity and or curiosity? Because right now what you're doing is the bridge to what you're going to be doing. There's pieces of that, right? It's like a client of mine that's very skilled in business, ran companies, and now they're working more for themselves and doing something more what you might term overtly spiritual based. And they were really detesting what they were doing in the corporate world and in finance. And I said, yeah, but that background, that's a foundation for having a good business, for what it is that you want to do. And I have quite a few clients that are like that, where there's been a crossover, or what they know spiritually and metaphysically is helping them in the workplace, in the career, in the office, in making the changes. Or what they've done, what they've learned about repatterning and people's patterns and, personality, let's say glitches, personality disorders, personality glitches, personality characteristics, their own pattern and what they're bringing in, they're using. So try to not, again, that proverbial saying, the cliche, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah, we really have to build, everything in this universe is built upon something else. There's always this building, especially on the earth plane. Again, this, and I think I said this last week, I've been saying it quite a bit in different settings, but the seed of the new is in the old, right? And the seed of the old is in the new. I mean, it's both. We built, the mulch that we have that makes the soil really, juicy and fertile and abundant to have that great garden comes from the leaves that have fallen off and dried before. So if you can start thinking that way, you're going to maximize your potential. You're going to maximize also your connection to your soul, because it's in a sense honoring that all that you were doing in some level, in some way, makes sense, even though you're changing direction or you're, drawing in something new. So the time for the actual decision of that's over, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, is coming. It's so close for so many of you. And some of you, you're already doing it, but you're like, oh, I still have to do this, or I'm still finishing this up. Alter your approach. Those of you that are wanting to manifest something new or draw in something new, or you're creating something, whatever it is, you're creating something different, a new direction, a new job, a new career. You have to look and see what can I do now? What's my approach to what I'm doing now? How can I alter that? How can I make it more juicy, more fun? Bring in more soul juice, right? And I will tell you that it is going to have to do something with fun, curiosity, lightness, inspiration. It's going to have to do with some of those energetic experiences, energetic qualities, especially inspiration. What makes something lighter? What makes something fun or more fun? Is it that you need to research more? What is it that you need to do more or do less of? What is, and some of you're doing so much that it could feel almost like a burnout. So you need to pull out and just say, okay, that'll get done when it gets done, or it's not going to get done today, and just take the time. You have to remember you are still manifesting and creating while you're sleeping. Your higher self never sleeps. Your spirit team, the people on the other side, I call them people, don't sleep. So there is an aspect of you that is totally always awake, awakening consciousness. But our denser physical body, the earth body, has a certain rhythm and pattern, just like the moon and the planets, right? And we have to honor that. That's part of this dimensional pull, gravitational pull. Now, I will tell you that's lessening, and some of you may be feeling that, having sleep patterns, sleep disruption, like where you're go, or you're sleeping a lot, or you're spending more time with yourself or out in nature, or you're very inward, or you're sensing something is new, something is changing. There's some new influence. And that influence is energetic. It starts energetically first. That's what everybody has to get. It starts energetically first. So I'm just inviting you to feel that. Instead of looking for tangible directions, instead of always looking for something that's concrete, start connecting into the subtle energy to feel out the energy of what is starting to coalesce. That brings you more into the subtle energy. That brings you into the etheric plane, the astral plane, and the Akashic. And for some of you, ultimately, if you're really shifting your vibration, it brings you into the realm of the spirit realm, into the void, into the more of the undifferentiated energy, which is pretty amazing, because then you're tapping into clearer source energy. Okay? You're really going to some degree beyond, right? All right, so I hope that's given some insight, a little bit of heads up for this week. And now let's get to the dream. After the dream, I'm going to just touch on this, and then it has to do with crying and sobbing and a lot more. A lot of good turns on him. So when JM, I'm going to call him JM, has a question, it's always a deep dive, a deep dive and a deep download, and as well with his dream. So, well, the dream I had this morning, I was writing like a biography on a present-day Aboriginal legend, a person of great stature that was really contributing to bringing Australia's traditional owners along. In the dream, I was sobbing as I wrote the biography, as I was overcome by the ancestral pain and trauma experienced by Australia's Aboriginals. I've never cried in dreams, yet on the last 3 occasions I have sobbed in my dreams. First was when I was bound, stupefied with drugs and tortured. Second, when I was trying to get the police, judiciary to understand that my ex was a werewolf doppelganger and seriously bad. Third, the Aboriginal bloke discussed above. What do you make of it? Well, a couple of things. Well, first of all, I do feel that you're tapping into an existential dream world, the collective unconscious, where there is a lot of mourning coming up. There's a lot of grief right now that's coming up. This could be especially for Indigenous people, the ancestors. We've been doing a lot of ancestral work, mentally, emotionally, through generational transmissions. through, culture, family of origin, however you want to look at it. There's a lot with those that have come down before us. And those, and I literally mean come down before us or come into or come through, that have their galactic or starseed roots that seeded some of the beings that were here, forms of life, let's put it that way, that were here as well. So I do feel there is this coalescing that's starting to happen bit by bit where, and again, it is the unity consciousness that started in the harmonic convergence of the late 80s, the harmonizing principle. It takes a long time on the earth plane. I mean, it's exponential. It takes a long time, and then there's, a quantum leap. There's a critical mass. There's a tipping point. So I feel that you're tapping into that collective, and then how that collective has to do with you, your own grief on this dimension, this James's lifetime, what you've been going through, the losses, the recouping, just the life experience, the drama, the tragedy that we are here, right? The comedy, the tragedy, the drama, the spirit play that we are in. So I feel that you're getting that, and you're releasing a lot. I feel like because there's something freeing up for you in the heart. So there could have been heart issues or something with the heart. So there's a lot with this heart opening. And of course, when we become more intuitive, more psychic, more aware, our heart opens. If you can be more empathic. You can feel things more. So I feel that it's some of your pain, individual pain, your own roots on this earth, how that, and then the pain of others. Again, the existential pain, the pain that is welling in the astral. This is the next level of the grief. And some people could say, well, yes, there was 9/11, there was, the panty. I got to watch what I say, unfortunately, because this will be going to YouTube. But, all these things that happened that we went through, big group things, right, in the collective. And, there's a lot of post-traumatic stress. We don't get to grieve or feel the stress of things right after because we're still having to acclimate. We're still having to move this around and do this and do that and adjust our mindset and bounce back and go forward and be resilient. We're doing all of that. So I dare say, even I feel in with the astrology, it's showing that we're going to come into a deep Mother Mary, Hail Mary, Jesus, come to Jesus, Baba G moment where, and some of you are already feeling this. I know I am, where, hey, this is what's really important. And a lot of the, we talked about the non-essentials, right? Well, we're really going to be getting the non-essentials and saying what's essential or not essential. So there is something for you about tradition for yourself and not only helping this Aboriginal bloke, this elder along, it's yourself. What traditions are you keeping? What do you need to connect with traditionally? So I sense in this a part of you that wants a deeper meaning and deeper understanding in life. Next level, you already got it, but it's about going next level. And again, bound, stupefied with drug, that could be, again, a lot. Our dreams represent not only other lifetimes or other dimensional experiences or situations with other people, but ourselves. How have we felt bound, stupefied? Are we stupefying ourselves with drugs or alcohol? Do we feel tortured in life? Are we torturing ourselves? So it's always looking at the perception and then the projection outward. Is it with someone else? And I feel like you're going through this time, and see, when I was trying to get the police, the judiciary to understand that my ex-wife was a werewolf, well, werewolves of London, they change, they shape-shift. And you're seeing that everywhere. So I feel like you're kind of coming out of maybe this cautious mode, opening up more. And it literally can be the police, the judiciary that you're dealing with or working with, and you're sorting these issues and problems out. And it can also be the police or the judiciary keeps the order. So we have an inner policeman in the dream world. We have a judiciary part of us, right? It's the Libra, right? It's the justice card in the tarot, justice and judgment. Temperance to some degree if you're bringing in the metaphysical aspect of us, the energetics. So, again, are we over-policing ourselves, or do we need to police ourselves a little bit? Do we need to watch, how is our internal policing or balancing act, or our justice system within, whether to ourselves or to others? But definitely I would say also from these dreams is that, yes, you're tapping into something more within yourself, and that grief frees up. Grief is amazing because after grief, it's like comes a new something, a new creation. Grief is like the rain or water on plants. When it's raining, our hair gets messy and frizzy, or some people it gets really, super straight, super like whatever. Some people it sticks up, it does whatever. The clothes get soppy, but we feel refreshed and renewed. Something we know something has happened, even if it's getting caught in a rainstorm and it's cold. That hot shower or bath feels good. We get those wet clothes off. We feel refreshed. We feel. So that's what I'm getting from these dreams. It's that you're feeling, and this, especially this elder, bringing on the feeling. So I would say connect into the elder within you, and ask that part of you. It could be what we call the inner psyche, the higher self. It's all these. We have like these main aspects within us, or main parts, but they have different shades. So if I'm connecting into my inner healer, what might be is an inner. The part of my inner healer might be physical healing, mental, emotional healing, or might be messages about food, or might be messages about scheduling and balance and timing. So I would say to check in with that elder, the wise, the sage within, that you're developing that, and then your own policing, guarding system, the part of you that keeps order, because you also mentioned traditional. So is there a new sense of order coming in for you, or a new way of having order? Like I'll give an example, and I have this happen, invariably with quite a few clients of mine, especially that are more corporate, where maybe they leave a job, or they're going more consulting, or they've starting a new job, or retired, or new career, or they've got space in between, careers or jobs, whatever, or position, I guess you want to call it. And they'll be, I'm slacking. I can't believe I slept in. I did this. And it's like, no, you have a different rhythm. Follow that. You're not going to be a slack. Trust me, folks, we don't turn into something that we're not. And I know it's scary, because sometimes I have it myself, where I'm like, oh my God, am I burned out? I'm sleeping a lot, or don't feel like doing this, or I let this go. And then if I go with it, it's usually like the third day, boom, ever ready battery bunny, boom, 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 getting this done, that done, or I stay longer in nature. I'm going to be gone at a half hour, an hour, and then I realize, oh my God, I've been 3 hours doing this and that, doing my Patreon videos, or just relaxing in the sun, or hiking and chit-chatting. So again, that's us moving out of that chronological time. So James, that may be something for you too. What's the new type of, because police, think about it in the most, they can have a lower octave non-life enhancing aspect to them, and they can have a very, life enhancing aspect. And some places are called peacekeepers. In Britain, they don't even have guns. I think they have some kind of billy club, some kind of stick thing. I've seen it when I watch my British spy whodunit cop shows that I love. They have some little stick thing that comes out. So yeah, that dream that dream is chocked with a lot of new growth and awareness coming in, and a lot of feeling in the healing in the feeling, to maximize your next level of soul expression and soul experience. All right, gang. Hope that helped everyone. Oh, Athena in the chat. That's how I feel, burned out, and my mind doesn't want to do anything except relax, being outside in nature. Meditation is just being present and fun as possible. Yeah, Athena, welcome to the club. Now, that is the soul coming in, and I do feel, because as we get things more automated, as you know, certain requirements are outdated or outmoded, it's going to require less labor on things. And also, again, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we have to remember that we're aligning things, syncing things up, prioritizing, reprioritizing when we're laying around, couch potatoing, when we're watching all the YouTube videos, when hopefully all of you are watching my Soul Insights and Tarot on YouTube, out in nature. So again, and you can see the astrology moving less from the labor earth focus. That doesn't mean we won't have earth. Earth is beautiful, wonderful. We'll have the earth element, you know, manifested form. But we're moving more into the mental realm and fire, which is inspiration, right? The air, ethers. Air is also, I consider air also ethers. So that's the etheric, the ethers. So that's a lot by mentally manifesting and putting things in order and moving more into inspiration and inspired action and connecting spiritually and using our spiritual powers to do our bidding, so to speak. That's what I dive into a lot in Patreon. It's all about connecting into that, the mental realm, the higher mental realm and spirit realm. That's understanding the spiritual energy and how to connect, utilize that, connect into it. It is an aspect of us. So we're moving more into timing. So it's an interesting concept, the idea of timing. Like the right place, the right person, the right situation, everything kind of moving around. You know, so but it's a big shift to create a change. We're having to shift because we've been so everything's been focused on time, chronological time, which is not going away, but timing is going to be taking more key precedence, right? So, yeah, it's a whole shift. So if you can find your place in that, that's why, thank you, Athena, for asking that or sharing what you shared. If you can just try and go, okay, Michele was saying this, or the guide said this, the oversouls, or Athena in the chat mentioned this, I kind of feel that way, or how can I integrate some of that energy? All you need to do is resist less and integrate some of the new emerging consciousness that's coming in, and what's that bringing in. Or if you're resisting it, just be conscious enough to know I'm resisting it because it feels different. And then what I tell myself is I go, oh, but I've been programmed, I'm conditioned, so that's why I think it has to be a certain way, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, you know. So we're reformatting, and what we experience, in fact, I think I'm going to put the key code, the last workshop up. I might put it up for, let me take a note, so that if other people want to listen to it, because it's a workshop, and then we did healing through sound. It was very powerful. Got a lot of feedback on it, and a lot of people shifting. I've had people tell me, I'm after that workshop, I'm no longer the same. They said it took them about 2 weeks to process, and some people have made major changes in their life. It's very powerful, this technology from the spiritual hierarchy. and oversouls. So, but one of the things is we dematerialize and rematerialize, and it's that we can't even discern it with our eyes. I've seen it psychically. I've talked about it on this podcast the times that I have. I went into greater detail in the workshop. But we reassemble. Each person reassembles a little bit differently to match the vibrational frequency of what they're experiencing or what's in front of them or who's in front of them, even the person. So understanding that if you can pause and go, whoa, I'm seeing things from conditioning. Let me see it in a new unit of time, or let me see it differently, or let me see it how so-and-so sees it. You might be looking at I wish I was like them, or I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that. Well, you'll have a better chance of doing that if you can reassemble your assemblage points and your Akka cords that hold you in place. If you could reassemble your perception of what you're experiencing or what you're viewing or what you're going through, then that is going to change not only how you experience the world, but what you attract and manifest. So they're called assemblage points. Okay, we learn this shamanically. We're constantly shifting these assemblage points, and it's so interesting because I remember in college I had a philosophy class, and they talked a little bit like this, and I just didn't get it at all. It's so weird how information is kind of hidden. But there was the whole thing: is the light on or off? The professor would turn the light on. And and I remember something about reality kind of assembling itself. What we know now is like the observer theory. But to me, what the guides were telling me and sharing with all of us that I shared in the workshop, it goes even deeper than that. It's not just the observer principle. It's who is the observer. All my beliefs, my conditioning, my experiences, that is affecting the assemblage points, my assemblage points. And when I come in contact with people, a bird, a tree, a flower, whatever, I'm going to see things and experience things according to my assemblage points. I'm reassembling them to some degree to fit into my narrative. And so that's part of what's a big change that's happening. And you can help it along if you can understand this and bring conscious awareness to this and conscious, behavior changes or mental emotional changes. All right, let's get to callers. 347-539-5122. Press 1 on your keypad. Hi, you're on air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Michelle. This is Debbie from Puget Sound, and I'm calling to say hello and thank you. And thank you for this wonderful show. And also to tell you, you were very on target when you said I would have an interim move. I made the interim move 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, I made the interim move, and I have another 6 weeks where I am. And so I'm calling in a very different, I feel differently.
You do. Your energy is a lot different. Something's lightening up. You have some hope.
Exactly. And I just wanted to ask what the guides might be thinking about or revealing to me or trying to reveal to me regarding my next move.
Let's look. So now I'm hearing settle in. So what does that mean? How long are you going to be there? Because I'm hearing settle in.
I have 6 more weeks.
Okay, so let's look at that. Okay, there is something about settle. It's funny, but I do see a longer move. I get settle in as into your body.
It could be.
And into the idea of doing it, of moving.
Okay.
I feel like there's a longer distance move.
Mhm.
But you have to, there's a lot settling into your body. There's something about a project or a plan, something that you're doing in the house. Let's see, how could you best utilize this time? See, I hear somebody saying, "Oh, you're going to do it." I hear you saying, "I'm really going to do it." Is there a dog with you around? There's going to be a little dog that you really connect with when you move. Medium size, I would say.
Well, right now in this house, I'm cat sitting. So
okay.
That's currently.
Okay. Well, that might be the small little animal being. I feel where you're going. There's a medium size doggy, maybe even I don't know. I can't say, but I'm getting the dog. Something about the dog. A medium sized dog. You're going to be. Are you thinking of doing more house sitting? You want to settle. You really want to settle.
Yes,
someplace,
I do.
Right?
I want to settle. I want to get unpacked. It's been too many years.
Okay, that's what it is. Settle in. Okay, so that's why they're saying settle in. So where is Debbie settling in? That keeps coming up. Where do you want to be? Could this person have another place for you to live? And
where I am, no. This is her house.
Okay, but she doesn't know someone else.
Not that I am aware of, but I'd be surprised.
Yeah, see,
I mean, she's away right now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I could tell. Yeah, she's house sitting or whatever. So I feel like the next place you will be settling in. So there's something about your body, though, settling into your body, or some kind of maybe walk more, or some kind of healing routine. Like use this time like I'm getting ready to move.
I've been going to chiropractic over the last 6 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because it's showing if you address your body, things are it's going to be easier for you to move, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense.
Okay, so that could even be literally. Yeah, so address the body, settle into the body, be where you are right now. I just feel, what is your question to me? Because it keeps coming back to you, like, where do you want to move?
I don't understand why that is such a quandary to me. I feel like I'm all over the map of the United States, and I think it's because I have so many friends all over the United States, and I always move to where I have a connection. But I feel that there's a longer move coming, as you have said. I feel that.
It could be just in your mind. It could be ninth house is coming. I'm heating up my ninth house is coming up, so it could be, because I'm hearing settle in. So if you have a place where you can be, because right now it shows a lot to do with the body.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be getting a base and doing something. I almost feel like something with the house. I don't know if it's work around the house or it's animals, or there's something about taking care of the house or taking care of the house. And because I feel like you're to settle in the body. You will have a place. I do feel that you will have a stable place, a base for sure, because I see it. I feel it'll have a garden. It may be even on somebody's property where there's like a house, second house or something, or build a smaller, I don't know, guest house or studio or something in the back, or it's a duplex, something like that. I don't feel you've come across it yet.
No, I haven't.
But if no, okay. So because I feel you have a lot of opportunities to where you want to go. And even if I said, I think you should move here, or the guides are saying that, you won't do it. So there's something you have to come to. And I feel it is the preparation of knowing that you're going to be moving.
Well, I do know that I'm going to be moving. I mean, I have to move from here.
No, I know that. But to do a bigger move, to make a decision on something, you're still not ready to, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think my chiropractic needs are my priority right now. I'm trying to get my back my right knee. I hyperextended my right knee last October, and it's taken a long time.
That's what you need to do. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast, see? That's what you need to do then, is you need to settle in, find a place, a room, a something, and focus on the body and settle in under the body. You've gone through a lot. Something has there's something that's happened that's caused you to be ungrounded. And so once you're more in the body and healed in the body, back connected to your body and settled into the body, you're going to be able to find that place where, okay, this is my base. This is where it is. This is it. But see, that's the thing. It's like I can predict stuff 6 months, a year, 5 years down the road. But what is it in between all that to get there? That's why I like doing channel guidance. I like to, because you're not ready yet to do that move. The focus for you right now is the body.
Yes, and I completely understand it's the body. That's why I found my way to a chiropractor. But it's taken a really long time with insurance to get from last October's hyperextending my knee till 2 months ago.
Yeah. That's okay. It just tells you you're in the right place. And if you re-listen to this beginning of the podcast, it speaks to what you're talking about. Did you go? Well, what did it say?
Yes.
Stay where you are. You're on the right path, the right track. Just alter your approach.
Yes.
Alter your viewpoint. Alter your approach. Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to remember this earth plane, again, it's like it takes so long, and then all of a sudden it's like something happens really quickly, and we're like, why couldn't this happen sooner? But all I've been told is that's the way of this dimension. That's this earth plane, and that's the way of the soul path. Things just, there's so many intricacies into our decisions that on some level are not even ours. Fate, destiny, things we're wrapping up, people we need to connect with. There's just so much. But for you, if you're focused on the body right now, that's perfect.
Yes. Okay. That's what I'm doing. Thank you.
Good.
And I will alter my viewpoint.
Yeah, figure out what that is. You can do it through contemplation, through meditation, and see how can I look at this differently. Or what is a more life-enhancing or life-confirming way to look at this? Or what's a new approach to this, a new way of doing this? I just redid my YouTube videos that I was doing because I was finding that even though back in the day I was a model and an actor, and I'm like, but that's different. You get up early, get on the set 6 or 7, somebody's doing hair and makeup, all that. But in my everyday life, I don't do that. I don't wear. And I was like, oh, God. Because and some people, you don't need makeup. I'm like, no, you do need makeup I'm sorry, and you have to worry about lighting when you are doing the cards and talking on camera. You have to be, because the weird shadows can happen. I couldn't do the readings at night. And so I just said, that's it. I'm going back to what gave me the most joy in the very beginning.
Right. You turned
your chair around. My voice, my hands.
Yep.
Yes, I don't have no makeup. I'm doing reading. I did one day, I did 3 in a row. And at night, I'm like, oh, my God, I love this. I'm just connecting with the energy of the people. So I took a new approach.
Right.
That's what I'm inviting you to do.
And I hear that. It's almost like turn the page, but you turned your chair.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes, we don't always have to get a whole new house to have a whole new chair. We can just turn our chair around. Exactly. All right, Debbie, keep us posted. Much love and light.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. I think I have time for a couple more, then we have our guests coming on a wee bit. Hello, you're on air.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Catherine. I'm calling from New York, and I really enjoyed your intro. I was really feeling that. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Did you have a question or have something you want to share?
Please.
Okay.
A question, please. Yes, thank you. I am involved in a class action suit, and it's been a while. And I just am wondering if you see it, I guess, our side winning, I guess is how to put it.
And it's with a lot of other people? Oh, gosh, I don't know. I'm not getting a strong read on that, to be honest, Catherine. Catherine's other side winning. I feel like it's going to be a lot longer and drawn out. Let's see, Catherine and the... let's see. Side winning. I want to say yes, but not as amount, but not as much. Is there some kind of something else besides monetary that you get with this?
Not that I know of.
Okay, nothing that has to do with some kind of service?
Not that I know of. If there is, it hasn't been brought to my attention.
It hasn't shown up yet? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Well, then there may be something else that you're going to, because I feel like that you're going to be offered something. I don't know if it's this suit. This suit seems very, and I'm just doing quick reads. That kind of reading takes a bit longer because there's so many kind of intricate things. It's not just you and a particular situation. But I feel like there's something else you're going to be involved in where you're offered some kind of service or back pay with something maybe, or you paid something and you didn't get the service and so now you get this back, or you get this. So there is something with, you kind of have that energy around you. Yeah, I don't know if you know what that is yet.
Could it be with the company that begins with the letter T? They were previously a company that began with the letter S?
It could be, yeah, if it's matching what I'm seeing, because there's something about something coming back to you, or you were owed this, and so they're going to offer you some kind of, that's reading more strongly because that's something individual for you than this other situation, to be honest.
I see.
So I would just look for that, because you are in this kind of cycle of wrapping things up and what's owed to you. Again, it may not be as much, but there's something so that you can move on. Okay? That's what I would share with you. All right, Catherine, keep us posted, okay? Big hug.
Thank you. Big hugs and love and blessings. Thank you. Thanks.
Bye. Hi, you're on air. Welcome. Hello?
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 Hello, can you hear me? Can you come back?
Hello?
Mute.
Hi, you're on air.
Oh, hi, Michelle. How are you? This is Katie.
Hi, Katie. Welcome.
Hi. Yes. So I went to I visited North Carolina, and I'm thinking about moving there. And I actually, there's like different areas, and I saw some apartments kind of like in the uptown South End area, which is like the city, which I really like. They're really pricey. And then I kind of like found this other place, but I didn't visit it. And it's like in a university. It's I guess close to the university area, but it's like near a lake. It has the bigger, it's bigger space. It's bigger space
and bigger windows,
but it's about the same price as
it's
like
not,
versus
or
living in the city. It is. It's about the same price as living in the city, but the city ones are like smaller and like I guess close to like you can walk around, go eat. But the lake has restaurants too over there, so it's like just wondering about both areas.
Well, what is what are you leaning towards? If you think of close your eyes and think of both of them side by side, which do you go?
I didn't actually visit the lake one, so I can't. I don't have like I didn't really physically. They sent me videos of it, but I didn't actually visit one. I love the city is just, you could just walk around, you could just go to restaurants. They have like a little like three-car train that takes you to whatever area you want to go to. But the train goes out to the other place also. But I would prefer this city, but the apartments are small. You get what I'm saying? That would be my first choice.
Okay,
yes.
I'm going to share with you what I share with my psychic development and trusting your intuition, reinforcing your intuition. When we are speaking, and I also know this as a therapist, the type of therapy that I do, we look at the subtext. And so sometimes the subtext is, it's not just words, it's a feeling, an energy around it. When you are talking about city, when it has places to go, and there's a train that goes out, and you can just go out your house, and you're in the city, and then and the lake, the train goes to the lake too. Which, yes, girly. Yeah. So again, like I said in the beginning of my podcast, we don't know where we're going, so to speak. So that intermediary step, there might be the place is small. You may get to the lake, as my sense, but might be down the road. You may the step off point for you may be that city because there's all these things to do and to feel that vibrancy. So that's for you. That's for other people that are listening too. Is really, I do that myself. I'll feel in, and sometimes I don't do it, and my clients will tell me, or friends that I've taught this, that have done my workshops. They're like, Michele, how do you feel? What's the feeling in your heart? And I can tell when you're talking about this, your energy is really high and up and excited, and the other one, it's like I should or I have to. So for it to be the most vibrational frequency, the most resonance, the most life-enhancing, it's always going to have what brings us the most vitality.
Okay. I mean, they both, like say, over the lake has a bridge, there's a seafood restaurant. They have restaurants also. The city, I didn't go there, so I don't even know the vibe there. I'm just looking. It looks nice. Katie,
but what I'm trying to tell you is I can't even make that decision even psychically. I could tell you what I see psychically, but it could be down the road 6 months, a year, or 2 years, or 5 years. You need to go with what brings you the most sense of vitality.
Like that means happiness? Like, what does that mean, vitality?
Yes.
Like youthfulness?
Vital life force energy. Happiness, you feel good in your body. You see yourself doing certain things, whatever that is, going here, whatever that is the vitality. It's energy.
Okay. I'm going to go with that, but what are you getting also psychically? But of course I'm going to make my own decision. I just want to see.
Just what I said. What brings you the most vitality? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's strong. It's active energy. You may end up at the other one because having more contemplation, quiet time, and more space down the road. But we can't be where we're not yet, even though where we're going, we may not be ready to be there, right? Yet. That's why we're always unfolding.
Okay. Well, I'll think about it. Thank you.
Think about it. Let us know. Call us back. We've got a great guest coming on, by the way. So stay put.
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. And those of you, if you didn't get your question answered to get your chance, I'm here next week, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Call in a little earlier, and I will get to you. All right, we've got our amazing guest coming on the air, Dr. Sharon Martin. She's got a Ph.D. in physiology. She is also the author of Maximize Your Healing Power. I'm going to be diving into that a bit. Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michele. It's Sharon. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
This is your guest. Hi.
Oh, yes. Okay. You threw me off because there was another Sharon that had just called in. Hi. How are you?
Good. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. You're very, very welcome. I definitely want to talk a little bit about your background and Rural Health Clinic in Pennsylvania. Is it real rural? Is it like a lot of trees and stuff around where you are?
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful.
Eastern woodlands, yep.
Oh, wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about your background and how you, I always like to look at like the first awakening and then awakening to the next big awakening to your like your book, your project, what you started to integrate, which is that mystical and spiritual aspect. Because on one level, it seems like there's a lot of traditional training, conventionality, and then you're bringing in this deep dive of spirituality and mysticism, which I love that. I mean, it's a great, I think, integration, and really brings a holistic approach to living well. So I want to kind of get how you decided to do that and how that has transformed, manifested for you and transformed your life and others working with you.
So the traditional path was always open because my parents were always about education. But I've always had a spiritual inclination. I've always felt things that other people may not have felt or known things. And little by little over the course of, since college till now, at least 35 years, Spirit would put a path in front of me. And I would stumble onto it, and then it would open up doors I had never imagined. So after college, I went to graduate school, and I was teaching at Emory University. And that was traditional and academic, and I found myself yearning for the rolling hills. I kept telling myself I really wanted to be in the rolling topography of Amish country that I'd seen once when I was in college in Pennsylvania. And I thought, I'd love to be there. And I would love to have a barn with a horse. And I would love to walk from the house to the barn. Well, next thing I know, I'm on my phone, which it was in Maryland. And then from medical school, and I detail a few of these stories in my book, waking up to see what's heart centered about the practice of traditional mainstream medicine, and finding myself steering away from the really high-end academics because I didn't all feel the heart, and ending up in a community-based residency training in Amish country, in the rolling hills, and from there, all of a sudden, looking up in the New England Journal of Medicine, being scientific, and looking in the back at the ads and classifieds, and a job opening up even more rurally, and something said go. And all my friends said, "What are you going to go there for?" I said, "I can't tell you. I feel called to go there." County at that time, 1,000 people. First female doctor.
Wow.
And feeling very at home with the low-lying mountain ridges. The Appalachian Trail comes through that area. Tuscarora Indians, which are part of the Iroquois, the bigger Iroquois nation, and just feeling really, really connected. And then Spirit has me on a Friday night at the end of a busy, busy week, and I open my book with the story. And a young man showing up at the clinic with what could have been called psychiatric issues. And Spirit whispering in my ear, "Sit down and listen to him. He is not crazy." And recognizing when I ask the right questions, thank you for the voices, my guardian angels nudging me, asking the right questions. Do you see things that are predictive? Yes. Do other people recognize those? Have they validated? Yes. Have you always seen these? Yes. My grandmother, he said, my grandmother when I was 3 said I had the sight, and she was a Roman Egyptian. So being able to come up with a different perspective at that time, courtesy of these voices nudging me to look at it differently, to tell this young man that he was not crazy, that he was unbelievably intuitive, and his challenge would be to be able to shut out the information coming in and only get it in what he chose. And the epiphany for him and the wide open was incredible, because I then started studying shamanism, which is spiritual. In my opinion, it is, at its core, is highly, intensely spiritual.
Yes, very much. It's the intermediary. I'm also studied and trained and initiated shaman, so welcome. Welcome.
It's a wonderful place to return to. Our indigenous knew it.
Yeah.
They were never separate from every living creature. They were never separate from the energies of thunder or rain or the celestial body. And so for me, it felt like coming back home.
Coming home. I just knew you were going to say that, Sharon. So let's talk about, because I think this is so important and happens, but it happened with me, but I will say it doesn't happen enough or people tune it out. So I really want to underscore this, especially those that may be having this experience. You were on a path, but you were getting nudges, signs, messages that you were listening. You could feel spirit talking to you, God. You had that connection, even though maybe it was misunderstood, or you mentioned with like friends. What could you share for those that are having that kind of experience in, I would call, the everyday life or everyday living, and especially, because a lot of times, very often it starts at a young age. What helped you, and what could you share with our listeners about, what to do with that or how to find that support? Because now there's support. I know when I was growing up, there really wasn't. It was like I just knew, and that's it. Just follow that. Now there's support. But what could you share? Because when you were talking, I was like, wow, she really listened and felt it all the way through. It's like it sounds like no matter what you were doing, you had that connection.
Well, I think there's a couple of effects I have on this. And one is Spirit's voice is always there. I've come to learn this. I didn't always know I've come to learn it. And as humans with our free will, we are completely allowed to ignore it. Mm-hmm. And the biggest lesson for me is be really open that if I get a little feeling, I stop and pay attention, watch what happens, and probably 9 times out of 10, something will happen that will make me go, oh, I'm so glad I paid attention. So that kind of gives you that positive feedback to pay attention again, and then pay attention again, and then open wide so you really pay attention. But the other thing is when you have a yearning. When I was in medical school and the culture and the atmosphere were so not what I want, that wasn't what I would call healing. It was great science, not always what I would call healing. To have that yearning, when you have that yearning, I think we're more apt to pay attention. We're more apt to listen for an answer. Like, I'm in this padded room with no windows and no doors, but you get a little whisper from Spirit and you sort of touch of a window. Pay attention. You're yearning, you might pay attention more. So usually in my deepest time of unrest because of the way life is going and I want a major change, then I will get a bigger epiphany. And I don't know if it's because I listen better or because I'm in such distress, the spirit is talking louder. Maybe a combination of both. But I think if everybody could recognize what I believe and what I've learned, and I know you believe, spirit is there every minute. And even resources that you haven't met yet, resources among nature spirits, among ascended masters, among the elementals, all of these other energies in the universe. And we can ally ourselves with them. And when we do, the power that we get is so fulfilling and so life-enhancing. It makes me want to look around when I take a walk in the woods and look around and pay attention. Pay attention. Do I sense anything from that bird I just heard? When the cardinal shows up, and it's really not cardinal season, and I'm feeling gloomy, but the cardinal shows up at my kitchen window. That's I interpret that message, and I feel good because of. So open up and just practice paying attention, practice opening awareness, and then watch the feedback and watch what happens and recognize we are so connected. There are so many forces in the universe that we can connect with.
Now, you said something, obviously very astute, but also very kind of, that's a very good point about the medicine, that the scientific. And, of course, I want to, for those that are listening, that it's in the description box, but to get the whole title, Maximize Your Healing Power, Shamanic Healing Techniques to Overcome Your Health Challenges. You recognize that there's the scientific aspect or learning, perhaps principles and techniques, and then you're bringing that mystical or spiritual. You could talk a little bit about that in healing. I find that you're the first doctor that we've had that has said that, and I think that's so profound because we always assume, they're a healer, but in a way, yes, it's science, scientific, it's techniques, it's principles, but having that awareness and then bringing that mystical and consciously blending the two, to me, that's really powerful. I don't know. Separating it out and bringing them together.
Traditional medicine talks about the art of medicine. They kind of have this file drawer that they say, that's the art of medicine. That's a doctor who has a lot of art of medicine. Probably meaning they get intuitions and hunches and knowings that we can't ascribe to any scientific proof. And I keep thinking as I'm learning all these other esoteric techniques, how did the ancient medicine men and women do this? They didn't have x-rays. How did they bring about healing? And what I was taught in shamanic training by who runs the Four Winds Society is there is cure and there is healing. And you can heal somebody even when their disease isn't cured. And you can have cancer and feel healed because you're still living a vibrant life with a multidimensional life force. And so for me, why wouldn't we open to all of that? It's existed for literally thousands of years before scientific medicine came along. Why wouldn't we incorporate it? Why wouldn't we want our doctors to have hunches? Why wouldn't we want them to talk to us about our soul's journey?
Wow, Sharon, you bring, so much hope to this field. And I know they're out there. I happen to have some, medical doctors, not only as clients, but that, I personally go to. But they're not they're not like, you know, they're not in every corner, so to speak, in every office, you know.
I
so to
think
have
also,
that,
unfortunately, there's a fear. There's a fear of being called wacko. There's the fear of being told that, you know, you're out on the limb. There's a fear of medical legal liability. If you say to somebody, do this, but you don't send them for the CAT scan. And as patients, we have responsibility for that because we have created, and we don't have to talk about this a long time because it'll just make my blood boil, but we have created this operating from fear, and that everything, we insist on all these tests, and we insist on being checked up and down, needles and probing. We have to stop doing that. We have to stop holding our doctors hostage to this so technical, and hostage to tell them they have to be perfect. They're not perfect. In fact, even the tests that you get aren't perfect. And you can have an abnormal test and be totally vibrant and filled with life force.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes those abnormal tests, they retest you and they go, oh, it was just something with the scanner or the machine. Everything is fine. It's like, I just had a client go through that. I'm like, just
abnormal. You have an abnormal number. You have an abnormal lab value, and then you're freaked out and you base your life and how you feel about your life on some abnormal lab value. Well, that's nothing. You know, you could put yourself down a rabbit hole if you know. So I think as patients, and I myself have been and am a patient, we have to stop holding up this ideal that the technological, scientific world is going to save humanity, because it's not. We need to blend these other things. And you know, Michele, from your physical training, if we don't wake up and change our relationship to how we treat the earth, humanity as a species is going to go down the tubes.
Yeah.
So
and Earth and Earth as our body. You know, it's Let me ask you, because touching upon this, do you think and feel, and have you seen it, that then integrating that spiritual or mystical, and I agree with you, I don't necessarily mean just within the doctors, but within ourselves, because I've definitely come across some doctors, especially like neurologists or orthopedic surgeons, where I had to tell them, look, I took the turmeric and boswellia and the pain's gone, so guess what? I don't need the surgery. And they're like, oh, that's impossible. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I took it. It's gone. That's all I can tell you. So I love what you're saying about the responsibility, and I'm just wondering if you think, and what you've seen, is if we're also bringing in our mysticism or our mystical experiences or our spirituality, because we tend to compartmentalize. Like we might do it, I would say, we do it in a session, we do it in a workshop, or we go to a retreat, and then when we get home, everything goes out the window, you know.
Right.
Do you think there could be, if we are integrating that, whether it's the doctor integrating that or just us or both, do you think that could perhaps change the, not just approach, but the experience, you know, of what we're experiencing medically? Yes, and our experience of life. I think for me, a spiritual approach, if at the very least all you ascribe to is that we are independent with every species, with every creature, with the earth. That is so, that changes your whole view and your every decision in your life. And what I love is I interviewed for my radio show Stephen Schwartz, who's a remote viewer, and he talks often about the concept of promoting well-being. Well, once you see we're all interdependent, every one of your daily decisions should be based on, does this promote well-being? And when you are able to have a life filled with those
sorts of thoughts, then your life is richer, and I would also argue it's less stressed and therefore better for your physical health. Definitely better for your emotional health.
Mm-hmm. You said something earlier, and I kind of had a smile to, oh, yes, I love this. Life enhancing. And I think probably around 2011, my guides, Oversouls and Spiritual Hierarchy, had said, really try not to say this is good, this is bad, but ask and to teach us, share this, is this life enhancing? Because all of nature goes towards what's life enhancing. And I've since kind of opened it up to life confirming. And you used that phrase a little bit ago. And to your point with your other guests that you had on your podcast, I love that. Since I've been doing that, I've noticed a big change, and even the people I work with have said the same. Is this life enhancing? Is this a life enhancing decision? Is this bringing vitality? Is this bringing well-being? It almost seems like when we ask that, I don't know, part of our nature takes over. It's beyond the ego mind. For me, it makes things much easier. If you look at it that way, I don't know your thought on it, since you also used the term a little bit ago, what your thought on that is.
Well, if I take it to a description with the energetic, to me it's about then moving your thoughts and your actions into the heart space. And when we do that energetically, we connect, our fields connect to everything around us. We are interdependent. We are co-creators. And that's got to feel good. I mean, just consciously moving your awareness to the heart space feels good.
Yes. Well, you feel less isolated, right? Or you're doing this all on your own, or this whole... What is your thought and feeling of that? You're talking about that heart space in regards to healing, or the power of healing, or, as you say, even maximizing that heart space or heart chakra energy. Well, what is your understanding of that?
So most of my guided visualizations for clients, and what I would say energetically, is when you move your awareness to the heart space, you're in the toroidal field of your heart, which generates your entire energy body. And that, to me, energetically, even though our crown chakra does connect to our soul and to spirit, our heart connection is powerful and universal. And so for me, the meditations that I lead invariably bring somebody to the sacred space of their heart, because from there, they're in the control center. They're in their connection to the highest power they can bring forward to shifting a health challenge. And so that's a fabulous space to journey to meditate on.
Yeah, and of course that heart space, it is this intermediary, it is this interconnecting point, whether we say is the upper, extended, or descended energy centers, in front, below, forward, back, whatever, however you want to look at it. It is very powerful. A lot of interconnectedness there and messaging through that. So do you notice, because I do feel a lot of healing energy, I feel like whether it's connecting to that self-love, self-acceptance, love and acceptance of others, the heart chakra does seem to be, or that heart space, heart center, does seem to be kind of a synthesizing point for all of us.
And, when you think about it, if you look at the chakra system, it's where all that spiritual download converts then into physical material world. So it is that transition, that jumping off point. And I really like I learned it from Drunvalo Melchizedek, who's a mystic connected with the Hopi, and he taught, people may remember the Flower of Life, the Merkaba, and he taught that earth, sky, heart meditation where you, from your heart, you connect golden channel down to the earth and feel the love coming back, or connect the golden channel up to the heavens and feel the love coming back. Because as he describes it, and I'll use my words here, we are an integral trinity, earth, sky, and human. We do not exist without the other. In fact, humans can't exist without the earth. Just impossible. I don't think we may visit Mars. We may decide to live on space stations, but we were created to connect to the earth. We are integrally connected.
Yeah. I think that's part of this awakening, is people awakening to that. And if we, even certain disciplines, religions, at one point, it was escaping Earth, or belief that, you're here, it's you did something wrong, a prison, we got to get out. And now it's very interesting that this higher level of awakening has to do with getting in the body, feeling the body, living through the body, living through Earth. That is this Earth experience. And I don't know if that was by design that we went off in that other track. And I'm not saying me, but you, but a lot of these doctrines, disciplines, and religions, this escaping. And to your point, it is about being in Earth. Being Earth, the body, that in that interconnectedness of the Earth and us, that there is no separation.
Well,
and
that's,
I
think,
why we're here.
Right. That's what I think separates all of the teachings from the Eastern mystical, where you meditate to get away from human desires and get away from human longings, as opposed to the indigenous, especially of the Americas, where you even the dancing, you stomp on the ground, you are physically present. And I think that's the other thing that we have, at least Judeo-Christian, we fell from grace in the Garden of Eden. We became human and boom, look, we're sinners. Well, yes, human experience is messy, and human experience comes with bad behaviors. But the human journey, especially as you know and talk about and teach, are awakenings to see where can we improve, where can we evolve to, can we become more elevated, can we become more enlightened in our behaviors, in the way we walk on the earth. And for me, it's about how do we walk on the earth, not how to go to a mountain retreat. Now, I'm not arguing that that's not wonderful. I'm just saying, for me, there's a bigger challenge in our day-to-day. Can we promote well-being? Can we encourage life-affirming by walking daily? I mean, face it, sometimes the way we walk, what we walk through as humans, we walk through a swamp. There's mucky everywhere. But there's opportunities, again, heart-centered, aware of spirit guiding you, making your path shine a little more brightly.
Yeah, to embrace that instead of escape it or think that there's something wrong. The soul very much, I always say the soul loves, no matter what we go through, it's, this experience, we're going through this, we're going through that. But there does seem to be, and I've noticed this over the years, there's something with the embodying. There's something so crucial. I know there always has been, but it feels like it's even more poignant now about the body, and maybe that's also why we're looking more at the earth and more listening to our indigenous brothers and sisters, or that part of ourselves, indigenous part, the wisdom keepers, that it isn't escaping, it isn't running, away from. It's being here with it and embodying. And from what I'm getting with you also, maybe understanding. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I get from you also, there seems to be that it's understanding this connection and how to align to it, and even use the gifts,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm thinking as you're talking is, and I just had this flash, that perhaps one of the frontiers of medicine, and I mean that holistically, I think we're going to find that our DNA has incredible power, and that we're going to be able to now, and especially the teachers who teach about changing our thoughts to change our epigenetics, but we're going to find that DNA connects universally. It probably connects in some way to the universal field, and that there is power in our bodies, even though they seem limited. There's power in having become human in a corporeal body.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, Sharon. Yes.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
All right. Yes.
Yes. Oh, we'll have to talk. I'll have to bring you back on, and then even to when I'm extending this to YouTube, we're going to be doing. I love what you're sharing. I just did a workshop in a sound healing on this a few weeks ago. The DNA, the changes, and getting into the etheric DNA. Yeah. So, I'm so excited by what you're doing, though. I got to tell you. I mean, I got just goosebumps, confirmation bumps all over by what you're saying, because when I'm blessed and fortunate to connect with people like you that are in this field and you're doing this bridging, it's like, oh yes, there's another sign, and you're seeing,
yeah, we really are moving forward. We really
right?
are.
Yeah. I mean,
so
even
here's
your whole
another.
concept.
Let me tell you another.
Yes, please.
Because this keeps coming into my consciousness, and I have not mastered it yet, but I do believe that it can be another frontier. I've been playing with the use of generating a torsion field. So I see that as a vibratory field, and using it intentionally to change a concrete chemical or physical process in the body to activate this torsion field and I think that's what sound healing does. It does a torsion field.
Yeah.
And that vibratory field and that ability to break up an old pattern, energetic pattern, and then to go to the field of consciousness, to go to the Akashic field and download the original template of how something should be working before it got waylaid and defective. I think there's going to be immense power in being able to do that. Now, do I know how to do that yet? No, I don't. But I just have this feeling these are frontiers that we can explore.
Yeah. Well, I would say to you, you do know, but we're needing more resonance. What do you want to call it? Group agreement, mainstream, next level of people understanding this, which if we look at the astrology of this going more into the mental realm, the air signs, we will be able to do that. Because it is hit or miss. I've seen that. I've had experiences of this as a hypnotherapist. It's just not consistent because we don't have enough agreement on this, but I feel like by what you were even saying, I could feel your intention and your power. No joke, Sharon. I can feel it emanating from you. I could totally feel it. So I think you're onto something. Because I feel like some of these things that we just, what we call miracles, or they happen, kind of hit or miss, once we're all generating kind of at this level and this interconnectedness that you're speaking about, sure will be. It won't be we're escape. We have to go somewhere else. It's like, oh, this is possible here on Earth. This is. Yeah. Right. That's what.
You said in astrology, and you said air, and I was thinking I'm an Aquarian, so I think I'm an air sign.
Oh, yes, no wonder. Aquarius, future progressive thinking. I love you have big changes coming up with Pluto going into Aquarius, and this is your time. Woo, yeah.
Oh, is it? Woo, baby, I like that.
I don't know the rest of your chart, but with the back, and also Aquarius loves the science, and is also very humanistically focused in bringing the individual. So anything holistic, bringing in the whole person. On the higher level. So, oh, my God, no wonder. That makes so much sense. That, this is amazing. I mean, what a confirmation to everybody listening. Yeah, because you're really, you're living it. And you've been dialed in, obviously, connected by what you shared. It's just now it's that platform getting bigger and bigger and measuring that site, like you said in your book, that mystical and scientific, which back in the day, and I don't mean our day, but earlier days, it was one and the same, and it is one and the same with the indigenous people. They didn't. They never separated that out.
Michele, I want to say something for people who are listening. I have in my life, in my human childhood, and some of the choices I made to go be a female doc in a rural community where they had 3 old guys who oftentimes did not do the right thing. I have walked in the swamps, and being human can be hard.
Yeah.
So I just want to reassure your listeners that, I didn't get sprinkled with fairy dust, and I didn't skip along carrying a basket of roses. Life can be really hard. But when you align with spirit, and especially for me, when I consider the forces of the natural world, the energy of the trees, the energy of the elemental spirits that help me in my garden, when you bring those in, you can get a lift in your step, and you can keep plodding through, because the density of human condition can sometimes overwhelm you. So I just wanted to put a plug to your listeners. Yeah.
Well, I always say, I started saying this, one of my teachers had said, because I was like, oh, God, how could I have done this? And she very astutely said, Michele, it's possible to be very conscious in a lot of areas in life and not in one. It's like,
no kidding.
Right?
No kidding.
So we all have, but I feel too, and going back to what you said about the heart, I feel embracing my humanness, some foibles, some mistakes, and some whoppers of like, oh my God, I really didn't listen to my higher self in that one, and that one.
Right. And also, Michele, awakenings don't always happen in one big lightning bolt.
No, that's why the program. That's why the podcast is Awakenings. It keeps going and going. We're never fully done.
And so, if you're a late bloomer, I'm a late bloomer. Still be glorious and rich and filled. So don't think you have to, have this incredible dream where you wake up and you know exactly where your path is going to go. Sometimes you stumble. But if you open your awareness and you listen deep and take time to be in your meditative space, to connect to your higher self, your soul, your spirit guides, then you can sort of walk with a little less stumbling.
Mhm. So true. And as I said that, I thought sometimes also we are so guided and led, and we have everything falls into place, and then we get to a point in life where it's like, oh, what do I do? Just stay put for a while, because there's no direction coming in. It's like you want to make something happen, and the timing.
That's my challenge. I am unbelievably impatient. And brought up where sitting still and not doing was next to laziness. And I have had to teach myself that sometimes your body needs rest, sometimes your mind needs to just gel, and that we climb these stair steps where you can have forward motion, you go up a stair, but then you have that plateau where you integrate. And to allow yourself that. You said something about the body, and one of the things that I have trouble with convincing my patients all the time is stop and rest. Take a day off of work. Now, many of them are lose money, and that's very hard to do, but then come home from work and rest. Eat well and rest, because your body has the wisdom. It can heal a lot of itself.
I like that message. I've been having to say that to myself, and I don't know why it can be so challenging sometimes. And then when I do rest, or I take a couple days, full days, and I just push everything to one side, either stuff gets done by my team, I don't need to do it, or I wake up like the ever-ready battery bunny, and I'm like, oh, I got this done, da-da-da-da. But it's that indoctrination, from go get this done, accomplish this, get this done, and that's one I have to put attention to. I'm putting more and more attention to, because I am seeing good results when you can do it. It's amazing. It's amazing how the body recoups itself and renews. And then you're
your
inspired
mind is
again.
more efficient after a rest.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Well, Michele, if you don't mind, before we run out of time, I just wanted to make sure your listeners knew, as Michele said, my book is out, Maximize Your Healing Power. But if you order it, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Inner Traditions are 3 places, and you bring that order number to my website, which is drsharonmartin.com, drsharonmartin.com, and you go to the Maximize Your Healing Power book tab. As you scroll down, you will find a place to enter your order number, and you can get a download link for all these freebies. So freebies
nice.
are good. We like freebies.
Nice. Yes. Okay, so all they need to do is get the order number from Amazon, right? And then go to your site, and where do they scroll down again, if you could repeat?
They scroll down the page, Maximize Your Healing Power book, a tab, and down on that page is a place to enter the order number.
All right, Sharon, this has been amazing. I have so enjoyed this connection with you and journey, and
thank you for inviting me.
Again. Yeah,
thank you so much, because when I get invited on these podcasts, more people listen, and all of the people out there have put my book up to #1 Amazon bestseller, and I'm all about sharing what I know so we can heal the world. So let's keep going.
Absolutely. That's right. Yeah, we've been doing this for a while, and we always get great guests. I don't know, the publishing companies or PR or whatever that send us, it's always in alignment. So anyway,
wonderful.
Thanks for being on the program
and
sharing.
Thank you. It's wonderful talking with you. Thank you.
You as well.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Hey, Soul Lights. Okay, all the info of our guest is in the description box, as well as info on Soul Insights and Tarot and Awakenings podcast on YouTube, where we're going to be doing something over there, but a little different, but kind of similar. If you did not get your question answered or get a reading, call back next week, and we will dive in. Those of you that have been, oh my God, tried and true listening, thank you so much for co-creating this amazing community. All of you that show up in the chat, show up listening by phone, calling in, thank you so much for your sharing. And all of you that listen later in the replays, we feel you, and we love you too. All right, gang, take good care, and as always, continue to shine your light, share your insights, and of course, keep awake.
Awakenings broadcast every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michelle's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.